REGAIN is an initiative funded by the European Union for construction of sustainable industrial and commercial buildings. For the REGAIN project, it provides match funding of up to €2 million for 4 pilot buildings. A key objective is to enable sharing of expertise, knowledge, and best practice on technologies and techniques related to sustainable building across borders. sbtool is being used as a common method for assessing how each building has performed in terms of sustainability. It acts as a reference point for the projects. The project consists of 6 partners. 4 in Belgium, France, Scotland, and Wales are constructing pilot buildings, and the other 2 are providing technical expertise. The site is part of a former steelworks in an area that has seen a huge decline in local industry and employment level associated with them. This has created a region of significant social deprivation. The Welsh valleys, once the heart of the Industrial Revolution with its coal and steel industries, have become probably the most disadvantaged area in the UK, using practically every method of measurement. The regeneration of the whole site, of which this building is a part, is an attempt to turn the area around, arresting the decline and stimulating new and existing economic activity. The whole site also aims to set the highest targets for sustainability. The master plan sets out key strategies which all buildings must comply with. These include strict energy targets, improved biodiversity, and sustainable transport. In addition, all developers are encouraged to use local companies for supply and manufacture of goods and services for the developments on site. As well as reducing embodied carbon, it allows significant free marketing opportunities for local businesses to come into contact with larger enterprises, and requires all contractors to examine the opportunities to employ local people on the construction projects on site. To achieve a coherent urban form, design codes have been produced, governing massing, materials, streetscape, planting, phasing, transportation, and urban form. All buildings constructed on the site are required to achieve the BREEAM Excellent standard. The REGAIN building is running this in parallel with sbtool. The project will achieve the construction of a new built office facility for up to 8 businesses. It will provide incubation and pre-incubation facilities which will help new startup business and provide a single point of call for resources and information for anyone considering starting their own business. Blaenau Gwent Council are responsible for setting up, designing, and managing the building. Construction commenced in April 2011 and was completed in September. The design of the building aims to be as sustainable as possible in the broadest sense of the word. In this respect, it does not simply incorporate features or technologies to simply accumulate points or any assessment methodology. It's designed almost as a case study, to be economical to run, to be as simple as possible to work in, to require as little maintenance as possible, and when problems occur, be easily and quickly maintainable by local companies. In addition to the usual requirements of low energy consumption and sustainable sourcing, the building tries to maximize use of recycled and recyclable materials and minimize VOC content. Because of the social deprivation and negative perceptions, it can be extremely difficult to attract businesses into the area. Rents are low and cannot support the costs of high-quality development. In order to attract inward investment, a high-quality environment and buildings are necessary at low rents. This means that it is not possible for commercial developers to build to a high standard in the area. The starting point for the design is a simple, repetitive, extendable, and flexible module in a linear arrangement. Walls are constructed from a locally sourced ICF system clad with locally sourced untreated sweet chestnut. The roof is a prefabricated cassette filled with recycled newsprint insulation with a sedum roof finish. Solar thermal panels on the roof supply hot water for the building. The cycle shelter structure also acts as a roof for the bin store and features a large PV array on the roof and charging points for electric vehicles. All projects on the site have to produce a materials sustainability matrix documenting which materials are to be used and the distance to site of the supplier and manufacturer. Although there is no way to force contractors to use local suppliers, manufacturers, and labor, performance in relation to this is monitored and reported. Fundamentally, the best technology for the purpose is used, but contractors are required to make inquiries as to whether there are alternative suppliers located closer to the site. All other things being equal, contractors have to justify their choice of any suppliers that are not the closest. In summertime, the solar gain is controlled by the narrow windows. The translucent insulated roof lights allow natural light and some solar gain, but prevent overheating. The green roof encourages wildlife and acts as an additional insulative layer. Ventilation is achieved by opening the windows and activating the automatic roof vents. The PV panels generate electricity and the solar thermal panels produce hot water. At nighttime, the roof lights can be opened and the windows partially opened to purge heat built up in the building fabric and pre-cool the building for the next day. In winter, the insulated fabric and airtight construction minimize heat loss. There are heat gains from building occupants and equipment. Ventilation is achieved by wall vents in the serviced areas and opening windows. Heat is provided by the air source heat pump, the energy used being offset by the PV array. Hot water is provided by the solar thermal panels. At nighttime, the windows and vents are closed, and any heat stored in the fabric is released. The sedum roof absorbs and attenuates rainwater runoff. The site has been designed so that it has an integrated transport strategy. There is a new railway line with a station a 10-minute walk away, a regular bus service with a stop approximately 300 meters to the south. Parking spaces are restricted to encourage use of sustainable transportation. A large cycle shelter has been provided to encourage cycle use, and charging points have been provided for electric cars and bikes. The building has been designed above all to be practical and cost-effective to run over its life. The most pragmatic solutions have been chosen, rather than those which earn the greatest number of points in environmental assessments. The building has been subject to extensive software analysis, and although final calculations have not yet been completed, the building is expected to achieve a 50% improvement over the UK's 2006 regulations and be EPC A rated. Although a naturally ventilated building with no heat recovery, the performance of the building is predicted to be excellent, not far behind that of a passive house building.